It's in the same way that we are creeped out when we see someone on the tube and we think they might be about to rob us, or when we're making friends with someone and we think they might be out to manipulate us or to maybe exploit us somehow.
Deceive
so
us.
It's this very deep feeling that not so much the technology, but that something is off and something is not what it seems here.
So it's about trust in a way.
It's about what this interaction between you and the AI actually means. And often it doesn't mean what it seems to mean on the surface. What it really means is that someone is earning money for the fact that you are watching this.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the underlying reason why this thing is happening, rather than you wanted to watch a cat video. And the reason why I think it's
getting your attention,
it's so creepy is
catching
because
attention.
now we have the ability to generate essentially an unlimited amount of this manipulative material. So whatever you are most interested in, whatever you are most fascinated by, whatever you love to watch, we can now give you enough of that to keep you happy all day for the rest of your life.
Wow.
And this is really, I think, quite dangerous. Because in the past, you'd run out of TV series to watch and you'd have to go and do something else.
And that is making people docile and stopping them from, because it's kind of an anesthesia, can I say? Is that the right word? Anesthesia? Where you get like numb, because I think to have a proper conversation, there has to be a back and forth, there has to be friction, there has to be question.
There's no traction without friction.
Yes, man. I love that phrase. You told it to me once, and that was fantastic when we were doing some
One of my bosses
together.
used to use it when he was yelling at me, yes.
Oh, okay. I suppose there are levels of interesting way to learn, I guess. But yeah, but once everything's AI generated, there's no friction. It's just give me what I want, when I want it, how I want it, and just, it's...
There's definitely a lot less friction. And what I tell my students is that if you're using AI to do something that you can do already, then that's probably okay. Because you're not going to be missing out on any learning. It's just say sending a bunch of emails or sorting all these files into a new folder or fixing the capitalization in all these sentences. If it's something that you know how to do already and it's donkey work and it's boring,
it's just going to take
you would have your mind switched off anyway while you're doing that. Then why not automate it? I've always been a fan of automation. Using AI, even better.
Yeah, programming is a way of automation, right? Write a script, okay.
And if it's something that you can't do, that's nowhere near your skill set, if I needed to integrate a quadratic function, for example, I used to be able to do that in high school.
Yeah, me too.
But I'd have a real trouble doing it on paper now. And
me too.
So
that
would be something that I would already have asked MATLAB or Python or a symbolic algebra package for
like a calculator.
Yeah, so why not use AI for that as well? I think the danger comes when it's something that you could very easily learn to do in an hour or two. And if you use AI to do that, it will take you nearly as long and you won't have learned anything. And then the next time that you come to do it, you'll have to use AI again. And as an example, just as a quick example, I find it very easy to tell when emails that I receive have been written with AI. I find it very easy to tell. In fact, I can more or less always tell. And people are often surprised when I'm having a meeting with them. And I go, what did you use to write that email? And they're like, how did you know that I used AI? So this is a classic example of the kind of skill that you could easily acquire without even lots of practice over a few years. Writing well. And my PhD supervisor really had to help me a lot with this, because writing it's a skill that takes time. It's not particularly very hard. You just need to practice, basically. You don't need to learn any theory. You need to read some good papers and good books. And you will get better at writing.
And practice.
You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
So over about 3 years of my PhD research, my supervisor very, very effectively helped me, and I'm very, very thankful to him. During my
your PhD supervisor
really helped
what was
me.
His name?
His name is Alan Johnston. He's
Johnston.
A professor of psychology, a chair of psychology at Nottingham now. This was at UCL, and I really appreciated his help in helping me learn to write.
Yeah,
so it's things like we tell the reader what we're going to talk about before we start talking about it, and then at the end we sum up and so on. And after a few years of practicing writing better, you can really, really easily tell what the personality is of Claude or ChatGPT, and you can really easily detect it.
Personality.
So part
What
of
do you
this
mean
is-
by personality?
So how do we know that something's written by Claude, for example? So first, it will be extremely vague.
Vague. That's one of the key tells, right?
Yeah.
Really vague. Not really risking anything. It's really okay.
Then
really
there are a
vague.
few giveaway factors. We can talk about delve, for example. Everyone is
Delve,
saying delve
yeah.
now. No one used to say delve.
Yes.
You'd read it once a year. You'd read it maybe when you were reading The Lord of the Rings about dwarves and that they're mining.
They were
call it
delving in the mountains or something.
And I don't think I'd ever seen it before that. But then suddenly ChatGPT comes along and the beginning of every document says that let's delve into
Let
whatever
us
we're going to
delve
look at
into
today.
yeah. You actually showed me a graph of delve used in papers, and it kind of exploded.
So in the first year of ChatGPT, it used to be that as soon as you see delve, you know that someone's using the AI. But
Really
that actually
easy.
doesn't work anymore
That
because
doesn't work
people
anymore,
are
yeah.
using delve now.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed, we spoke about this, was the rhetorical turn, right? Like at least ChatGPT. I don't know if Claude or the others do it, but ChatGPT says like it's really poetically like it's not this, it's that. It's like a rhetorical negation,
Yeah.
and then it reveals something with a metaphor. Like for
And they
example,
do this all the time.
all the time, all the freaking time. So annoying. There's actually this Instagram user that it's called AI News or something, which is sometimes it's interesting stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, thanks. I didn't know about this. And you research it on your own. But I've noticed that every single post is written by AI. And it's so annoying because it's the same copy. You remember copy pasta? You know?
Yeah.
Those,
So what I've been getting,
yeah.
because on Facebook, if you stop scrolling, it detects that, and then you'll see more of the same thing. So one of the things it's showing me a lot of lately is actually Snoopy cartoons because I can't just stop. But one of the other things is AI generated stories about Frank Sinatra.
What? About Frank
Maybe
Sinatra?
you used to see these in the past. There might be a Frank Sinatra group and someone would have typed one out. Now, every time I go on Facebook, I get 5 or 6. And who knows how many of them are actually completely accurate, but they've definitely been charged up a bit.
But
by
are they
the AI.
amusing, like entertaining?
They really aim to be. They
They aim
definitely
to be.
aim to be.
Okay.
But they're superficial.
Frank Sinatra stories. Wow.
So
Vague, superficial.
these are the ways that we can tell. And delve in particular, the reason why AIs all use delve is because their training data, the last level of training, the level that makes them polite, not the level that gives them their knowledge, but the level that stops them just going off talking about how to make weapons and so on, and the level that makes them say, sorry, I got it wrong, and so on. For the original ChatGPT, that level was trained by collecting data from real people. And in this exercise, real people would be asked, can you tell me about biology, for example, or tell me about why the sky is blue? And they would write out thousands and thousands of these small answers, and that's what was used to train ChatGPT. So the way that ChatGPT behaves, the way that it treats you, that was managed originally by asking lots of school teachers in a particular country to supply the training data to answer these questions. So they hired thousands of school teachers. It was actually in Nigeria.
So all school teachers. Yeah,
And
I read
in
about
Nigeria,
it.
it's traditional when you walk in to start a lesson, you always say that you're going to delve into something.
Oh
so
my
this is actually a
God.
tradition from the education system of a particular country.
Are you kidding?
Because everyone was hired to help fine-tune ChatGPT originally. That's why everyone says delve.
Oh my God. So it took this from that little bit of culture in Nigeria, and it's all over
Because
the
all
world
of these
now.
answers in the training data, they all started with delve, and so it thought that's just a thing that humans do.
One would think that someone would say, maybe it's a bad idea to get like only this kind of data, because in theory, data, I'm sure there are some protocols to have, because there's a big question that is, what is a good data set? You know, a data set should be X, Y, Z, should be diverse. It should have a lot of categories. It should have, it should be high quality. It shouldn't have fake data. One of the things is it should have varying ways of talking, I guess, or professions.
One thing we can say about what would make a good data set is that it should come from people.
Should come from people, definitely. Then there's also synthetic data, which I think it's a dead end in a way. But I haven't read a lot about synthetic data, but I've read that I was told by a friend that there's a thing called AI clap. I haven't really researched about it, but it says like if you keep training a set with more and more synthetic data, eventually it's going to start saying nonsense. It's just going to be like static. So I think that wouldn't be. So it'd have to be from people.
It is definitely really risky. It's easy to train AI at the moment because all of the training data that you collect comes from people. But that is going to go away soon. And I think that brings us to really the most important observation about AI for me, the thing that really has changed most from my point of view. If you go back 5 years, maybe even just 4 years now, to just before ChatGPT, so just before they released the original ChatGPT.
Yeah, into the world, yeah.
At that point, every single word that you read, every sentence and every paragraph that you read was written by a person. Even if it was written by a marketing manager who aimed to deceive you, even if it was written by a criminal who was aiming to extort your account, even if it was written by a scammer, then it was written by a person.
But it was a human, a person.
And now we have seen a complete sea change